Welcome to the third episode of the Power of Wellbeing program, everyone. And another Sunday, another Power of Wellbeing program for you. And as you know, the Power of Wellbeing program is brought to you by the World of Wellbeing, which is an initiative of ISW Council. And we already had two episodes before. The first episode, we covered a holistic approach and a development program for parents and kids. It was really amazing for parents to go through the entire holistic program. Very engaging with a lot of renowned uh, speakers. Second program, we had financial management. It was also interesting how small kids, with their pocket money, they can plan their finances and how they can buy things. In this series, Power of Wellbeing, we are trying to achieve that parents and our next generation try and get the complete understanding of how they can be, use these programs and important topics for their well-being and for the society well-being. Today, in the third episode, we have Izzat Yaganagi today, and she's pretty experienced in a domain, which is tracking. And today's topic we have is tracking, how tracking impacts your well-being, how tracking can increase the confidence and the social well-being and your decision-making skills and overall development. So, without talking much about tracking, and I would prefer that Izzat will definitely explain you what all tracking and how it can cover and how it can benefit you. Regarding previous programs, you can go and watch our earlier episodes on our ISW Council Facebook. We have earlier program also. We keep uploading them. And this episode also will be available on ISW Facebook page. So, Izzat Yaganagi, we have today from Indiahikes. I will just brief you about. I will introduce Izzat Yaganagi today before starting. She is, she'll take us through. I believe the most, Izzat is head of Experiential Learning program at Indiahikes, and she believes that all young people must track since there is no better teacher, healer, and motivator than nature and its true form. And she's a counselor, trainer, and mediator by profession. And she's also an avid tracker and promotes sustainable living. So over to you, Izzat. And could you please take us through the what is tracking mean for kids and parents?
Thank you for welcoming me, Rajiv, and I'm really happy to be here and to have a chance to present my learnings and experience and to offer to whoever would be interested to consider a very unconventional form of well-being and something but which I have found highly effective. So as you mentioned, I'm a counselor and a trainer as well. And before joining Indiahikes as the head of Experiential Learning, I was full-time practicing my counseling and training. So I've worked with several students and in colleges, I've worked with couples, I've worked with families with problems with kids and many things. And in my counseling practice, there were several times where, some cases are very difficult to crack because there's some shift that has to happen and it takes long. But what I noticed after I went on my own first trek to the Himalayas is that the mountains and nature offer something that is not at all available in cities. That the way the mind and the heart and the spirit open up in nature gives a lot of space for healing to happen. So I started sending some of my clients and their children on treks. I said, why don't you go out and why don't you go into nature? Why don't you sign up for a program, come back and then let's continue your sessions when you're back. And I saw dramatic changes in students, in adults as well. And I think with children, the change was Absolutely. So almost a transformation. It's almost like children need nature. They need to, feel the soil, feel the wind in their hair, climb trees, touch leaves, be exhausted, do something difficult, challenging, build a fire, whatever it is. But once they do that, it's almost like they are reconnecting with themselves, they are reconnecting with the world, and something shifts deep down. And that is one of the main reasons that kind of makes me very passionate about the field that I'm in now. Because,
Yeah, it looks like.
yes,
I
you
can see
see,
that.
yes. So we see children, you don't have to see children after they have an issue or people after they have an issue. If they go out and trek and if they go out into nature, most of the issues and problems would not even arise. So prevention is always better than cure. And I seriously
Definitely.
believe that if this reconnection happens with nature, that there would be a tremendous impact on mind, body, and spirit of everybody, especially children.
That is great. Izzat, can you take us our audience through what is exactly tracking? What is how they understand tracking?
Well, trekking is basically walking, and walking not just, it could start off with walking around in the countryside or, just outside your city, go to a, just drive out of the city limits and find a space which is open. It could be paddy fields, it could be a hill, it could be anything. Get out of your car or get out of the bus or your bike or whatever and walk through those fields. And that is basically what trekking is. And of course, where you trek, the places that you choose to trek can enhance the trekking experience. So if you trek
And
alone,
for a lot of people, they go out in the park in the morning. In the
mm-hmm,
evening, they go for walking,
mm-hmm,
and sometime in a year they go out. But how that is different from what you are explaining today, tracking?
yeah,
Because a lot of people keep walking in the park and I said, oh, I keep walking. I go to office. My office is close by, so I walk down sometimes.
yeah.
So how do you, differentiate this? And what experience you're talking about, and what people normally doing?
So trekking is not just walking in the park or going for your morning walk. It is something much more than that. So if you take an example of maybe a day trek, it would be at least 4 to 5 hours. It could be on along a beach if you're near the coastal place, and preferably in hills, because there's something about climbing a hill, there's something about climbing a mountain that kind of makes that whole experience, takes it to a different level altogether, because there is exertion included, there is a sense of achievement when you actually do it. There is something that is much more than just a walk. So when the whole experience lasts a couple of hours, and if you can include reaching a summit or a higher level and look down at what you have achieved and then return back, maybe along the way have a few activities that are connected with your whole experience of being in nature, followed by a reflection. These are the things that we do on our treks at Indiahikes, when we take students on programs and when we take families on treks, is that it's not just a walk, it's a complete experience that impacts you mind, body, and spirit. So there has
It's
to be
completely different from the activities what normal people do, even playing,
completely.
even sports, what they do on a regular basis. They do a lot of fitness, but this experience stands completely experiential.
Yes. So it is actually getting out of your comfort zone. While you go for a morning walk, you're still in your comfort zone. It's still a very comfortable thing. You have your phone with you, you have signal, you might listen to music and you come back. You're still not out of that whole, your own surroundings. But when you go out of the city and when you go into the mountains, when you go into the hills, you're away from everything that the city and your life is over there. It is like getting out of it, and that experience itself of being away from your regular life and being out of your comfort zone puts you in a zone of learning and experience, which actually amplifies the whole experience that you have. So trekking.
Okay. So how parents can, engage in this? You organize a lot of programs, tracking expeditions for kids at a different age. So parents, how they cope up with the kids camp in a different age group? You must be having some experience to share. How?
I can show you a few photographs that I have of family treks that we have, and maybe after I show you those, I can talk about how parents can actually prepare for an experience like this, because it's not
Yes.
easy. It takes effort. It's not like just going to a park. So there is a preparation that's involved. You have to prepare mentally, you have to prepare physically, you have to, do all of that stuff. But if we know that the impact of it is going to be so strong for our family, for our children, we will definitely do it. So I will just share my screen here, and you can look at some of the examples of family treks that we have. And I think just looking at those pictures, you'll have an idea of what I mean.
Wow, this is so beautiful.
Yes. So this is an example of one of the places that we take families on treks. And
Okay.
yeah.
So that is a small camping trekking place.
Yes, that's a trekking place. And
Just a nature walk.
this is a nature walk, and going through forests are really amazing because you hear the bird sounds, you can feel the rustling of the breeze through the leaves. There are
Wow.
flowers, there are rocks, there's all kinds of smells that come naturally out of the different plants around. It's a totally beautiful experience walking through forests, and
Completely different.
kids absolutely love it. Of course, adults love it too. So
Wow, this is amazing.
yes. So I have personally been with several families and many thousands of students through the last 7 years that I've been here. And I have seen that students absolutely love the experience. In the beginning, we hear some of them complaining, oh, it's so difficult, my legs are paining, But once they enter the
They
forest,
must be getting tired.
they get tired, but we have lots of
Yeah.
rest points, and very quickly, within an hour or so, we don't hear any more complaints ever for the next, whether it's the whole day or whether it's the next 4 days, depending on the length of the trek that we go on.
It
So,
looks so beautiful.
yeah, this is a typical, this is a winter experience. So at different times of the year, you'll see different things. If it's, just after the monsoons, it's very green. And if it is in
Wow.
winter, you see snow.
This
And
is Brahmatal.
yes. So we've taken even 8-year-olds right up to the top of, some of these summits of 12,500. And they have done amazingly well.
Must be very exciting for those kids.
The parents are lagging behind, but the kids are way ahead most of the time.
Okay, can we quickly, see, it's getting too exciting actually. I really want to understand, and I think audience also wants to understand, how do we prepare, how we get set go for this? What are the important things, even starting from packing stuff, accessories, important stuff? Can you take us through the all list that how can we be prepared to go for a track?
Yes, I can do that.
Yeah, please. That will be really good.
Yeah. So to start off, I think it's not just packing and getting the gear. We have to actually prepare children and prepare ourselves as a family for a trek. So if you're going to go for something like this, you need to plan when you're going to do it. If it is a large trek, if it's a small trek, you can do it any weekend. But if it's something that you need to plan, then you need to check the holiday time, select the appropriate trek for the different age groups. Because if the child is very young, you would like to start off with something simple and slowly go on to more difficult treks. And
It should not be very far also traveling. You should travel, quickly and reach there.
yes, yes,
That is also important.
it's very important to start off locally, because taking a child for a huge treat right in the beginning is something like maybe not the best thing to do. It would be good if families can start small, start early, even when their child is 1, 2 years old, to take them out into
Oh, wow.
nature, help them experience walks around, even if necessary, carry them at times, but let children get connected to nature at a very early age, because this connection has to be built and nurtured. It's very difficult to take a 16-year-old who doesn't even like to go out of his house, who's constantly on his gadgets. It's very difficult to say, come on, go out and let's go to the park, or let's go on, somewhere into nature. They'll say, no, if you want to go, you go on your
You
own.
have to you have to literally push people these days, the kids especially, to go out. They
Exactly.
just don't.
Yeah,
And
so,
going out for them is being going to malls or going to some cinema hall,
yeah.
not to the nature walk.
That's very unfortunate, but that's how it is. And I think parents need to start and take it into their hands to introduce children to nature early. And if they haven't done that, then it would be nice if the child is already in their teens and they don't want to go with parents when they're in their teens. So you could send them out with others, children who are going out on treks, join up with a group and send them, or maybe there would be a few parents that accompany the children. If they have a group with other families, with other children, we have found that they are much more eager to go. So that's one of the reasons we started family treks. So these are
Yes.
treks which different families join, and the children are all below the age of 17. So we have from 8 to 17. And this has actually encouraged many of those who are reluctant to go out into nature to actually go, because they know, oh, there will be other kids or there will be other families. So parents also don't feel, oh my goodness, how am I going to tackle or deal with my kids on a trek? It's going to be so difficult. They're going to keep complaining. But when there are other children and when there are other parents, we see that it's a totally different experience. Because parents have each other, the children have each other. We have programs where they do together, programs that they do separately, just the kids, just the parents, then families together. So a good way to start would maybe talk to a couple of families in your friend circle and see who would, fix a day, go out together and let the children enjoy that experience. So
So you
here,
mean start early.
start
We
early.
should start, taking our kids at a very early age, as early as 1 year old. Expose them to the nature, let them spend some time in the nature. Then they slowly build their habits. Then we start small trek, maybe taking to a picnic for a day, somewhere camping, and then again we start taking them to little far and let them
Yes.
experience more nature. That's where you come in picture, where you can organize such kind of track officially and take them to a very organized experience.
Yes.
And so preparing early is very important.
Yes, it is. But again, it's never too late, because my first major trek was when I turned 40. So,
Oh,
but I was always an outdoorsy person. So it's never too late, because somehow there is something in each human being to connect with nature, and it's good to start early, because that impact can actually make an influence on that child's development and growth. But if that hasn't happened, it doesn't mean it shouldn't happen later. But of course, it's always best in anything for education, it's always best to start early. So one more thing I'd like to say is, when parents are taking their kids, they need to involve them in the planning also, because that's what brings excitement. So even like going through like a list of stuff, okay, what all should we take on our trek with us, and plan together, even decide what snacks are going to be taken. So here we have a lot of guidelines that we have on our website. that mentioned that please do not bring packaged food. Please do not, get the stuff that your children love to eat at home. So
So
along,
what they eat there, how
uh,
do you how do they manage the food,
if it's a
stay?
Himalayan trek, we have all the stuff that's necessary to do cooking. So here we take the children and involve them in all aspects. They are involved in cooking their own food. They are involved in pitching their own tents, to the extent that they even are engaged in digging their own toilet pits that we make at campsites.
Wow, that's
You
so
know,
amazing.
we ask them to assist other children. We say, now you are the ones who are going to assist your trek leader. So you are the helping hands. You are the ones who have to, follow
But
these activities.
beginners must be having problem initially doing these things. How much time they take if you say you have to cook, you have to dig your own pit, and you have to put your own, because kids are
We
not used to. So how do you experience that?
They are very enthusiastic. Till now, we have never had an experience where children are not on top of the game. As soon as you say, okay, this has to be done, you see them enthusiastically running forward to do it. Till today, I have not seen any child who is reluctant, because once they are out there, once they are in nature, and once they feel a sense of responsibility, oh, I'm responsible for this, I'm responsible for that. We also tell them to be responsible for their parents. We tell the parents that here you let go. We are taking care of your kids, and we want your children to learn how to take care of you. So we take the children aside and we talk to them and tell them, see, your parents are, they're older, they're not as fit as you. You are young, you are light on your feet. So throughout, you keep encouraging your parents. Talk to them, tell them, come on, you can do it. Do you need any help? Shall I get you water? So we do a separate briefing for children, which makes them feel, okay, yes, we are in charge, we are responsible.
They
And
are
just,
independent.
oh,
They're
yes.
independent now.
And you'll see, like I have been on this trek with these tiny kids. I'll show you the pictures. But this tiny 8-year-old stands on, she's gone ahead of the group and she turns back and sees her parents walking and she stands and says, come on, daddy, you can do it. Come on, mama, you can do it. That's so
But it is very
cute.
interesting what parents do during that time when they see their little champions so engaged and exciting. What they do, they don't have much to do. Do you have
Oh,
some activities for them?
trekking is not easy. So they are walking, they are trekking, they are climbing, they have to reach the next campsite. And after that, we have activities that are done along with the children. We have many cooperative games that are played with families and children together. We have reflections where parents sit together, children sit together separately. Then we have joint reflections where we talk about the learnings of the day, what did they experience, what was challenging, what was exciting, how we can make it better the next day. So all of these conversations also help. And we have quite a few children, they are completely engaged. And it's a very good opportunity even for parents to just relax when they reach campsite. They don't have to constantly be busy because they're in such an amazing, beautiful place. Sometimes just sitting and being on your own over there and just meditating, or just being, maybe some of them journal, some of them write poems, some of them compose songs. It's a beautiful experience with families and kids on treks. And parents who are afraid or reluctant or hesitant in any way, I think they should watch the videos that we've put up, that we've just shot candidly, and they can see how
Yeah,
it is,
definitely.
yeah, so
They
different.
should they should see that. But how often, first experience if somebody has in a year, then how often, in a year they can go twice, or what do you suggest? That's good.
I think as frequently as possible, they could go out on small treks around the city, like just outside the city or the town. That would be like day treks or day hikes, which can be done maybe once in a couple of months. And if they want to do a Himalayan trek, it's completely up to them. If they want to, most probably do it once a year. We have few
Once a
families
year.
that do it maybe twice a year, but a Himalayan trek is an investment. It's an investment of time and resources. So it again completely depends on the families. But the idea here is to keep children connected to nature. And when they return from a Himalayan trek or from any trek, the lessons that are learned on the trek need to, be consciously practiced at home. Like what we do very consciously on a trek is we make them aware of the connection with nature and the need to protect nature. So we have something called green trails that we practice on every Indiahikes trek, where everybody, the idea is to leave the mountains in a better condition than you find it. So this is a life lesson. It is not only when you go to the mountains. It's not only when you go on a trek. When you even come back home, when you visit someone else's home, when you go to a park, when you go to a cinema hall or whatever, you have to leave that place looking better than you found it. That means basically we don't litter. And if there is litter and if someone else has messed up the place, we go one step further to clean up that mess, no matter who has done it. So on all our treks, we imbibe this lesson into all students, into all trekkers actually. Everyone carries an eco bag with them and picks up litter that they find around them. Not just their own. Of course, it goes without saying that they do not litter, but they have to go one step ahead. So leave no trace is the base, but we go one step ahead of leave no trace. That is, leave the place better. Even that lesson, if brought back home and practiced, is a life lesson, is a life-changing experience.
What do they do with food waste if they have any food waste? So how do you organize there?
We compost all the food waste. So we have a compost pit at every campsite that is dug by the children themselves. We help them, of course. If the ground is hard, we have the tools. It's not that they do it on their own, but most of the time they refuse to let us help them. So we put all the food waste into that, if there is food waste. So again, during the trek, we try to ingrain the practices of sustainability and minimalism, where you take as much as you can eat. You don't take extra. You cook as much as you require to eat. And if there is any wastage, of course, like the peels and all of that stuff, it is separately composted at the campsite, covered up properly. And we have segregation activities where they segregate the plastic waste that they find on the trail. They learn about what goes into upcycling, what goes to a landfill, what can be recycled. So even these lessons can be carried back home.
But that's such a good experience for kids.
Yes.
I think they should have these kind of activities quite often to understand. Because many things they don't learn at home, or they learn but they don't practice.
That's true.
I have a question on our FB Live audience, Meera. She put up a question, and that is a very valid point, that these days parents are overprotective.
Yeah.
And they're very possessive over their kids. Mm-hmm. So taking them out, for such experience, they should be convinced first. They should have that kind of, they should give their kids little freedom to experience these things and be confident. We are so protective that we make them, that we don't let them go anywhere without our presence. We give them a lot of security, and there should be somebody around. Oh, you cannot go there. So even teenagers, they stop. So how do you think, those parents, do you have something for those parents so they can understand that leaving kids at such, beautiful nature experience is so amazing, life-changing?
That is why I mentioned that start small and start local. So that, because it's even parents who need to get, brave enough to do this. Kids are brave. Kids are naturally adventurous and enthusiastic, but most of the time it's the parent, as she rightly mentioned, who is reluctant to, put the child in any form of danger. To the extent that when a child falls down, parents react so strongly, they don't allow them to climb trees, don't allow them. But these are small. I don't want to say it's okay to be physically injured, but constantly protecting a child from the smallest of difficulties and the smallest of, pain and whatever, like hurts and bruises and stuff, actually has a bigger damage mentally and emotionally on the child. So we are so concerned about physical safety all the time that we don't think about the damage that is not seen on the surface. What about a child who, because they're not allowed to explore, not allowed to venture out and, be in touch with nature and experience all of this, becomes somebody who is afraid of everything around them. I have seen so many who are so afraid of every single insect that they see. When they go out into the rain, it's like as if something is going to happen to them if they get wet.
Yeah, they'll get sick.
Yes, and why? I mean, these are the things that we put into their minds. And then the lifelong, this child has to, bear the burden of that maybe faulty upbringing, which has been so protective physically, but has not allowed the child to gain confidence in their own abilities and their own strength, to face adversity, to face challenges, to learn from mistakes. These are life lessons that a child has to learn, and earlier the better. The more we prevent it and the more we try to avoid them experiencing any difficulty and hardship, the more we are harming them. So if we truly love our children, we will not do that to them. That's what I believe.
So first, I think parents should be ready and they should prepare themselves first
Yes.
and start giving this experience at an early age to their kids, so they don't struggle with them in their teenage. Because I've seen a lot of parents struggling a lot with their teenage kids.
True.
Because they don't listen, they don't move out, because parents never given them this kind of experiences. They never pushed them out. They never taken them out.
Mm-hmm.
They never had these kind of outdoor activities. They could have done it, like small camping and all. If it starts at early age, they don't struggle with their kids, with the teenage.
Mm-hmm.
And these experiences, I think what I believe personally, if something is given in your childhood, you always carry that throughout your life. You remember.
Yeah.
And giving such experience to your kids, they will carry that. You started your first expedition at the age of 40. Just believe it, and you're still, enjoying it and experiencing it, and start, giving this experience, sharing with others also.
Yes.
So let's just believe, think that if you start at early age, we gift these kind of things to our kids so they can enjoy throughout the life, go anywhere in the world, but they take out time and go for such activities.
Yes.
So this is important for parents to understand.
Yes. Very much. Children become independent, they become confident, they become resilient, they appreciate nature. They understand that there is joy in these things rather than, because most kids and most teenagers nowadays don't really experience true joy. And we are depriving them by not allowing them to experience it. And being in nature.
Because that excitement is going in the mobiles and games more in the gadgets. So much of excitement goes in.
That's very unfortunate. I would like to show you a few pictures of our family treks. Shall I do that now?
Yeah, please.
So this is a family with an 8-year-old, and I was with them at Daira Bugyal. It's a 4-day trek that we have. 6 days out of Dehradun, but 4 days of trekking in the mountains where they go up to 12,500 feet. And these are the faces of many happy children who were on one of our programs. And you can see that they are involved in, they are rolling up the sleeping bags, preparing after they sleep at night. They pitch their own tents. Nice. Yeah. Kids absolutely love camping. And here we see we help them find the route also. So they have to find their own way. So we teach them to use a compass. We teach them how to read GPX trails. We help them to read maps. So all of these things are done, and kids love it when they can, they become explorers. We say, okay, now you explore, and you are the one who's going to, take us to the next campsite. Let's see if you can find the way now. And they really do a great job. And sometimes we just allow them to go a little off track. After a little while, we call them back and say, okay, now let's see whether you're on track or not, and then come back. So they
What are the GPS trackers?
Yes.
These small gadgets you have?
Yes.
You give them all. So these have been provided by you, all the kids?
Yes. Not to all the kids. We would have them in groups and teams, and each team would have one.
Okay.
They will have a leader and they learn to work as a team. So that's another big learning that comes when children go together. We make them in teams, and each team is responsible for different activities and different things that they have to do, like finding the way, like maybe helping with the cooking, helping with the green trail, the segregation and collection of waste, taking care of others, doing even tests, like we ask them to do the BP oximeter tests that we do because safety is a big thing. So 2-3 times a day we take all the readings and see that everyone's fine. So we ask the kids to also take their pencil and paper and go around with the trek leader and take everybody's readings and see that everyone is fine and advise, tell them to drink water, tell them to wear warm clothes. So when they are also in that mode of taking care, we see that by the end of this experience, children become very empathetic and compassionate. Even if they were not that way at the start, we see that by the end of 4 days, they become so much more caring towards everyone around them. Like, have you eaten? Can I get you something? Do you need anything? Can I help you with your bag? So constantly you see them trying to be of service and to be of help, which is, I think, one more very big takeaway from an experience like this in nature.
And what kind of safety you think they should take care of during this time? Their personal safety.
Personal
so
safety.
They run around. It's a hill area, and they keep running around here. So how do you think they should, be very careful?
Yeah. So we have ground rules at the base. So we sit together and we first design the ground rules together with the kids. And there are very few do's and don'ts, which they have, and no child actually breaks those rules. When they are in nature and when they are free, then how much more free do you think they want to be? And the trails that we take them are absolutely safe. So that way it is, then our trek leaders are very well trained and we keep the group together. We allow them to explore a little off track here and there where it's safe, but not beyond a certain limit. And children also have this inbuilt sense of self-preservation. We don't realize it, but it's very strong. So children won't go beyond a certain limit, especially when they are given responsibility and when they are pretty free in the environment. It's very rare to see a child who's doing something that would endanger them. We see adults doing that, but children, very rare.
So they get to eat their favorite food, or you have some typical food for them, or normally, what do you prefer?
We have very simple but very nutritious vegetarian food that is cooked. So with us, at least, it's always vegetarian. And you will notice one thing, that when children are involved in cooking the food that they eat over there, even the simplest food to them is like the most tasty thing in the world. Like, even if they make the khichdi together, or they make dal and rice, or one sabji, or whatever, you see the way they relish it, like, this is the best meal I've ever had in my life, and it could be the simplest food ever. We take care of nutrition, it's very important, but we have noticed that children are absolutely not fussy when it comes on going on a trek.
Parents must be shocking to see their kids eating everything.
Oh, yeah. The parents have to eat what the kids have helped in making. So that's true. So you can see they also serve. Yeah. And children love to serve. They don't get that opportunity much in the city. Because even the way we don't give opportunities, and the opportunities are very rare. Mostly people live in nuclear families where it's not joint family, where you don't have an opportunity to serve others. Even homes and the schools are not designed in a way that you can cooperate with each other and do things. It is highly competitive. A classroom setting is very individualist. Each child has their own goal and their own, thing to take care of. So they need experiences like this, where they can cooperate, where they can help each other, where they can go beyond themselves. It makes them less selfish. It makes them, that sense of entitlement that nowadays students have. that goes away when they go for experiences like this. And it has to be
And
reversed.
do we have some videos to show our audience how it looks like?
Yes, I can
What kind of
show you
experience?
I can share a video of a family trek. I just put it on right now.
That will be a good live experience.
Yes, I'll put it on just now. Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see the screen. I hope audience also can see the screen. This is rifle. So they're planning,
Yeah.
sketching this way.
Yeah.
So cute. They're really having good time. We should plan. You should plan a trek for ISW team also. Oh, these are master chefs. That was really amazing.
Yes,
Feel like we should just go immediately for a try.
exactly.
You must plan something for ISW Council's team.
Yeah.
So what do you do all this planning, taking these kids and all the resources uh, for different batches? How India Hikes comes in the picture, and how India Hikes
Okay,
offering
so
these kind of packages?
about Indiahikes, Indiahikes started off as a trek documentation agency, and today Indiahikes is the largest trekking organization in India, and also um, we have brought in all the trekking, safe trekking practices that are now practiced across all trekking agencies and trek trails. So there's a lot of innovation that has gone into it. And as I said, primarily the documentation, authentic information that we bring out on trails across the country is put up on our website and is made available freely to anybody who wants to use that information and trek.
Okay.
So we don't say you need to trek with us. We have like almost 200 documented treks in different states of our country. We run treks in the Himalayas, but we have put up documented treks all over. So no matter which city you are in or wherever you are, you can go to the website and look for the documented treks that we have around your area with all information. right from beginning to end, how to get there, how to prepare, phone numbers, the detailed trail. You can download the GPX file and just take it with you and you will not get lost. So we believe that everybody should trek, and we are trying our best to make it possible. Of course, if you need an agency to trek with and you want to be safe, you're most welcome to trek with us. But if you have a group of people and you want to take your children and you want to go out on a trek, just take that documentation, print it out, take it and go. So we believe that anybody should be able to trek at any time and anywhere. And there should be no obstacle that comes in that way, and we try to facilitate that. Another very important thing is safety. So we do not compromise on safety at all. So even when you go to our documented treks, you will notice that we bring in a lot of points that will ensure your safety. And on our treks, of course, we have trek leaders who are highly trained, and all our processes and our practices, our people, all of it is designed to make the experience extremely safe. Apart from that, of course, as I mentioned, we have the Green Trails program. So every single trekker who treks with Indiahikes has to be part. They sign a pledge, that we will participate in keeping the mountains clean, and each one is given a bag to carry, and they carry it with them.
Very important.
It's very important. And also, we would request that anyone who uses our documentation or goes on treks anywhere, whether it's a nature walk or a trek, it would be wonderful if you try to make a difference and leave that place in a better condition. So that is
anywhere.
Yes, anywhere. And we have seen that many people who come and trek with us, when they go back and they trek in their own areas, they have also been influential in enabling people in that area to start following green trail practices. So we are very passionate about that as well. And the fourth important pillar, so those are the three pillars on which Indiahikes stands. We have another very important pillar, which is what we are talking about right now, that trekking is a transformational experience. And it is something that impacts the mind, body, and spirit of everybody. And when it comes to children, the impact is so much stronger. So we hope that every single trek for a person is an experience through which they can transform themselves in some way or the other. And we have seen it happening. I have seen it myself when I went on a trek. And I have seen it with all of these children that I've gone with. And we have students from several top Indian institutes of management of our country. They are older students, some of them, all of them doing their MBAs. But I have seen that the impact is really, really strong. So this is something that Indiahikes does very strongly to bring about transformational experiences. Yeah. And
so
yes,
your clear message to parents, I think everyone should start early. As a parents, we should also think about our experience, how we take our life, because our life is so much involved in kids for their daily activities, teaching them something, disciplining them. We don't think about ourselves. As a parents also, we should also take these kind of tracks and experience. So first we can experience, and then we start giving such experience to our kids, so they carry throughout their life. Starting early, preparing well, and start taking these small camping, as you said. Don't have to go for Himalaya straight away. Taking your kids out and spending a day, I think, is worth. So they start getting experience, and then they can plan for next expedition. That's what you mean. Any other message, Izzat, you would like to give to parents and our next generation who are watching this program around us?
I think the message that I have already given is please take your children into nature. Please introduce them to the world of trekking. There is no better experience, I can say, that is pure, that is, genuine, where they can experience who they are for themselves, where they can have this bond with their children. They can go out away from, their busy schedules and their connection to the world through the gadgets and all of that
They can
stuff.
get out of their urban life.
Get out of the urban life and let children connect with you on, a one-to-one basis without any of the distractions of the city. It's a priceless experience, and it's, I think, the biggest gift anyone can give their kids. None of the material gifts that you bring them joy and happiness, but something like this is a lifelong memory. It's a lifelong beautiful experience. It's a gift for your child. So that would be the message that I would like to end with. That gift your children nature. Gift your children trekking. Let them be reconnected with nature and with themselves.
This is an amazing gift we can give to our kids, our next generation, giving them experience of nature.
Yeah.
Thank you for this such a lovely program and such a lovely experience. I think through your talks we can make out how good this experience must be. An audience definitely must be excited about it. It is really good experience. And I must thank you and thank you Indiahikes for coming to this program and making it more informative.
Thank you very much.
See you soon, Izzat, for this. It was a lovely session. And this was the end of our third episode of Power and Wellbeing Parents. Parents and our kids who are watching, our audience who are watching. And stay tuned. Next, on 18th, we have our next episode. And that is also, we have selected a very, very important topic. And I think that is very important to be emotionally intelligent. So we have emotional intelligence. How emotional intelligence plays very important role in our thought process, decision making. That entire life depends on our emotional intelligence. How we smart, we manage our emotions. So next episode, you will see our renowned speaker and explaining you how emotional intelligence can be used for benefits. Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Izzat, for this lovely program. And we'll see you on 18th. Bye bye. Have a good Sunday.
Bye bye to everyone, and thank you. Thank you.